the answer from FPX is to this Thresh, because chances are we're going to get iBoy Jinx, we're going to get something along these lines once again. So I'm looking at maybe a very aggressive bot lane or locking in the jungle, and it looks like it is going to be volley time. I've been waiting for this pick to come out. He is so damn strong right now. His clear got buffed massively thanks to the unlimited minion. It goes up to, sorry, not unlimited, 750 damage now off the E2 minions are to monsters, and as well he's also getting increased healing off the W as well. So massive, massive pick here for FPX, and pairs super well with something like the Rell. This dive buddy combination FPX can work with.
Yep, they're just going to take their jungle and their support as quick as they can and see what RA do respond with. We do imagine we will see RA look towards getting themselves either the Jinx, the Aphelios, of course, something that can work. I would personally prefer the Jinx. You've got that memeable and unbelievably silly ultimate that can steal objectives should it decide to choose. And for RA, probably lock into your jungle. You don't want Leyan's champion pool to be hit too hard.
Yeah, and that's where I'm kind of questioning. Okay, they are going to go towards the Zhao. SFM played this yesterday. He went that Frostfire Gauntlet build, and there's the Jinx we're expecting. So at least this early dueling potential coming out from Leyan, but something that certainly wants to try and again buy space with this ultimate. It's all about commanding zones for this Jinx and allowing iBoy to be the big carry. I don't like the Samira. I don't think we go towards Samira here, FPX. Like, Samira needs to start rolling in this lane phase, and I'm not sure. Okay.
Well, they've locked it in, and that's just how you have to deal with it.
Yeah, so the big thing here is, like, RA can look to play towards a really good range. Like, Jinx already has the big range advantage over this Samira. It's really hard for her to get in on top because you've got Zhao, who's got that ultimate to, again, send her packing. You've got Thresh, who's going to be looking to try and get her splayed away and buying space again for this backline. It becomes really difficult for Lwx to get this ball rolling. And because, of course, we saw those nerfs for Samira where she's not able to escape to an ally, she's in and she's in. Like, that's all you've got left. So for FPX, you need to play heavily towards Lwx in this bottom lane, get this Samira rolling, and hope she's so large that she just pentakills every fight.
Yeah, and honestly, even for Lwx, he's played it 4 times in the regular split, only won 1 of those 4 games, so not exactly the cleanest of track records for this champion for him, but we'll have to wait and see. There's still very, very powerful combo in that early stage, especially against something like a Jinx.
I will say, though, like, Lwx is no pushover, right? He's the 3rd highest dual lane kills in the LPL, 2nd highest gold difference and CSD difference at 15, and he's the 3rd highest first blood percent for FPX. He's a 60% first blood percent, so certainly FPX are no strangers to playing around him on the bottom side. They just need to double down on it and make sure when we look towards Doinb's champion pool that he's able to get something that can interact with bot lane. TF taken off the board, maybe Galio, maybe some of these funkier picks that we see him, like the Claire and the Renekton, being taken off the board as well.
Yep, and still waiting to see now what they want to go for there. They're going to take with the Twisted Fate, they're going to take with the Orianna as well. Doinb very quick to be around the map, and very, very potent to be able to make an impact wherever he needed to. And we can see now with FPX, where do you want to go with this draft? This Lucian would be a flex. Technically, the Volibear is still a flex, but I would prefer to see it in the jungle just because of the way the nerfs work.
It will be the jungle, especially with the amount of bans that have been teetered towards the jungle. This Lucian, though, says to me, look, you're going to be going towards Nuguri in the top side, and I thought that we were just going to have them play essentially that weak side top, where it's like, look, you just do your thing. Renekton fits that bill as well. This is a flex to Doinb, depending on what RA pick here, but certainly I think we need weak side top for Nuguri here. He plays it safe, plays it fine, and then you can all put your eggs into the bot side basket.
Well, we'll see now how this one works out. Of course, like you mentioned, FPX keeping that mid lane counter pick open. Of course, can go to Renekton, of course, in the mid, but we'll see the Zoe here picked up for FoFo, one of his most played.
And there's the range. That's what we're talking about. Is look, Samira likes to be short range, dive focused composition, melee across the board for FPX. All right, cool. We'll lock a Zoe in. The Jinx and now the Gnar as well. This is a composition that can play very far back, and whenever you try to dive in, they have this Zhao to reset the fight. They have also this Gnar that can work wonders when you've got a composition that is diving in on top of them.
You can see there the team supporting rate. FPX win 81%, RA 19. And that is the, oh,
there we go!
There it is, the Akali. Now you did a little bit of digging there onto the L solo queue, and this is something that the side of Doinb and Nuguri have both been playing.
Exactly, and it looks like it will be going towards Nuguri in that top lane. They've actually been working this as a flex in their solo queue games, and now we'll get to see it come out against the Gnar. So we did see a lot of changes towards this Akali, and she is very much kind of teetering more towards that all-in potential rather than that side lane threat, but certainly she has a really good matchup against this Gnar. She can play very aggressive, she's got that Shroud to stop a lot of the damage coming in from this Gnar, and Nuguri taking the Ignite means that he's got a lot of 1v1 potential in this lane.
Oh, this is exactly what I wanted to see from FPX. This is the return of the Akali, something that has just completely fallen off the face of the earth until 11.6 rechanges, until the 11.6 changes come out. And it's, again, it's a very kind of detailed kind of setup. It's very much set along the side of, like, you won't be able to kind of bully the lane, but when you're able to kind of get into those team fights, you will be able to do the same kind of stuff.
And the big thing here is, so we're going to go through what happened to Akali, right? Because when we look at the 5-point strike, the energy was dropped down. Now at rank 5, it's not 100 energy, it's down to 70 energy. But the difference is your assassin mark, that passive, no longer restores the energy that it used to. And also when we look towards the Twilight Shroud, you're getting 80 maximum energy added while you're in the Shroud, and restores that 80 energy as well. So you can play a lot more aggressive using the Shroud, having more access to more of those 5-point strikes. So certainly your early trading is so strong, alongside that the extra damage we've got to, like, Shuriken Flip, changing the damage type from Perfect Execution into Magic. It's just so strong right now on this patch.
What's going on, crowd? That was very disorganized. What's going on? There was different people. There was only 2 for RA. There was 4 for FPX for some reason. They've taken one of RA's. But yeah, I am so pumped to see what they can do with this Akali right now. Of course, we talked about the Renekton. It can be flexed in. They are utilizing that. And this is what FPX do best. This is where they are so good at the draft phase, because you are kept guessing. You do not know right until the last thing, right until 20 seconds, where everything is going.
And the thing is, we said, hey, look, we want a weak side top laner for Nuguri, right? Akali, not your traditional weak side top laner, but how the hell do you dive in Akali? She jumps into that Shroud and you're just like, oh, well, I guess we just abandoned ship here. There's nothing we can do. So certainly when you look towards the ability to punish Nuguri in this top side, if he's playing it correctly, it does become very difficult for the two attack damage orientated or on hit orientated top and jungle that's coming in through for RA.
Lwx is not having a fun time right now. He will be denied the experience away from this first wave, and this is just oppressive here from RA.
And why I don't understand why they went towards this Samira. Like, Jinx does wonderful into the short range of Samira at the early stages. Even having the pseudo range coming in from Hong, you can see Chris can't do anything either. So you lose heavily in these early stages. So I want to see what they're going to be able to do. Now, Tien is pathing bot. You could have Doinb try and make some sort of play in the early stages towards his bot side as well as he pushes in. But it's no easy lane whatsoever for Lwx and Crisp.
See what they're able to kind of go for. Of course, we didn't really get to kind of talk about what these compositions want to do as much as a whole when we were coming into it. Very excited about the Xin Zhao, very excited about the Akali. But looking at the side of kind of, you know, RA, it feels like this is going to be kind of a win lane, win game. You want to try and get the Zoe ahead. You want to try and get those picks off with the Xin Zhao kind of in tow. Whereas on FPX's side, you're looking to almost get the opposite with the flanks and the kind of counter punches coming in.
Well, we're going to hang on before we kind of elaborate on this a little bit, because both junglers are on this bottom side.
Oh, Cleanse has to be burnt there. The traps go down. Stops Lwx as well as Chris. Tien does have Flash and the Sky Splitter. Attack Repel. Bursts Blood to Lwx.
And the problems with iBoy and Hung, they play these very aggressive lanes, but don't always get the push at the right time. Not able to crash the wave, and gorgeous play from Chris to turn that back around. Tien invests the Flash, but that's a big win from Leyan. I don't want to see you at this Scuttle, because you know Crisp is going to be here to help, and you're not going to be able to win out when it comes to the 2v3.
Yep, Leyan just backs himself out. Nice rotation here from FPX. They do, however, have to commit quite a bit of summoners to get that.
So I want to come back to what you were saying, though, because for RA, yes, they have some great ways to win lane and come out with advantages, but certainly having the shutdown go over towards iBoy makes it a little bit easier for FPX's bottom side. They are looking to play out with the long range though. They know that FPX are going to be looking to dive, so poke with this Jinx, poke with this Zoe, make sure you're disengaging well with Leyan and with Hung, and that's how you can try and play this out. Whereas for FPX, they have a kind of a multiple options here, as Hung is dead again.
They do have multiple options. They are going to be at the Blade World. The Beyblade goes in. LWX, though, very, very close. Did have the S rank, though. Did have the reset on his dash, so he was in no real danger, and his flash as well.
Yeah, he'll be able to escape away from that, but what I wanted to touch on for FPX is getting the Samira ahead. Like, this is gorgeous for LWX, especially when he's sitting so far behind in CS. But they have options to go towards a dive sort of team fight with Nuguri, Doinb providing flank, same when it comes to TN, and having LWX in the thick of things as this all starts off. Or they can look to play through side lanes. Like, if you end up getting Nuguri ahead and you can get Doinb ahead, you can very easily draw and open up this map and make it really difficult for Ore to find the protection that they need for iBoy and for FoFo.
See what they're able to do. FoFo should have the push pretty much perma against Doinb in these very, very early stages. Should be able to just kind of keep putting the pressure down. Of course, Doinb did reset, picked himself up a pickaxe, and did TP back into the lanes. So those Ionian Boots of the City now being picked up for FoFo. Has a little bit of extra movement, has a little bit of extra kind of, cooldown reduction to see if he can make anything happen. But I'm curious to see now, where do you go as Leyan? Because like you said, the ideal situation probably was going to be that bot side, as we can see both skill shots danced away there by Doinb. And Leyan, he's kind of not really got an option to go there at the moment.
No, and the big thing here as well is, look, FPX, look at the vision control. They have full control of River. As Leyan, it becomes very difficult to actually get access to this bottom lane. And FPX know it, so they'll start up this dragon, know that LWX and Crisp are actually crashing that wave bot, and as iBoy, you don't want to fight right now. This, despite the CS difference, LWX is stronger.
Not only just that, but they also just recognize Leyan was just spotted, and Leyan has not reset. Leyan is still doing the very Xin Zhao thing of, I don't really need to do anything or go anywhere, I can just keep sustaining in the jungle forever, which does end up meaning that Tien, with the Ionian Boots of Lucidity, is kind of in a better position than him.
And I love that FPX are starting these dragons off early, because when we look towards, hey, how do you try and find these flank angles? It has to be at these objectives. It's by controlling vision at the back of the dragon pit, giving Doinb a bit of space there, maybe Nuguri coming in through mid, Tien can be wrapping around from his own side of the jungle as well. It becomes very difficult for Ore to set up their defensive line that they want and get this front to back style fight. So I like that FPX already starting this off early and using the lane advantage and the priority they had from LWX and Crisp.
Like you said, they're playing very, very safe. Crisp just get hooked. Does not really lead into anything else. That's the combination we will see quite a lot, is hook into play on top of chompers, and that's the CC lock, if you will, that you're able to kind of get going for you. But they have to be very aware that Crisp is here, and there is a flash on Crisp, no flash just yet on Hong. This wave's pushing against the side of FBX, so alright, they need to be able to kind of get that wave reset and push back forward.
I'm curious to see how this first Rift Tower goes across. I feel like you should be able to unlock Hung from this bot lane as Rare Adam, especially with the wave position that it is. Move him up top side, try and work off of Cube and the advantage you know that FoFo has in mid, especially just being able to grab this blue buff for himself. So I think you should be fine here, but there we go.
Flash forward on top of Hung, who does get himself away just about the Blade World. The Ignite, the auto attack is good enough, and LWX is making this pick work. We can see him there just tanking up all this damage. iBoy, no mana, no health, needs to get himself out.
Well, I suppose Hung has gone back to base, just not quite in the manner that he would have liked, and great job from this FPX bot lane. This is what we needed to see. Third highest dual lane kills in the LPL, but they might want to add a couple of notches to that belt.
Great engage, and look, you can see there, yes, they use everything from Chris, but you get the kill. Now you have a 3-0-0 Samira in that bot side. FPX are starting to roll over RA's bot lane.
Yeah, and I was actually talking to Asterix earlier on today, and he brought up a really good point. LWX and Crisp, honestly, are one of the longest standing duos we have globally right now. These guys understand how these play. They've been together all the way back. I mean, where is it? 2016 they joined with Tanchi Sa Gaming right the way back. These guys look so clean together, and we're seeing that synergy come out here. But now, Chris, you're on your own. Might need a buddy.
does have a buddy. Tien is there, and Tien has the ultimate there, so Volibear is a very, very dangerous force as Leyan still just kind of farming up. And yes, this Xin Zhao pick is exciting, and yes, SOFM made it look fantastic yesterday, but now we're kind of seeing it in a, what I like to call a control group of such. You know, you're kind of seeing it on the other side of like, what does it do when it can't implement these lanes? And this bot lane is just looking so much harder for the side of RA.
And we said, look, Lwx, he's got to be the big source of damage here. He needs to basically 1v5 a lot of these fights. Well, 3 kills on towards this Samira. She's going to be 1v5 territory. The big question, though, is how do FPX keep this snowball going? That's what we always look at with FPX. And we're looking at, you know, Rift Herald still sitting on this top side of the map, not really much movement towards it. We're looking towards these dragons spawning in a couple of moments. Like, there's still ways for FPX to try and manage these early stages. As actually, as I say it, looks like Rift Herald might be on the cards for these teams.
Yep, you can see on the minimap there, Tien and Leyan. As they now try and just kind of duel each other. But it is the bot lane of FPX that's the kind of first roam. You can see Thresh is nowhere near this. Thresh is not even trying to go for this. Hong is just going to try and get an advantage. Now he's roaming up, but I think it's too little too late.
Yeah, and this is one of the downsides of one, kind of falling behind and falling prey to Lwx and Crisp, but also of this Jinx bot lane. Jinx needs someone to sit in lane with her and be like, right, I'm your buddy. I'm going to keep you safe. We hold hands. We walk everywhere together. When you're in that situation, it becomes much easier for Crisp to roam and make plays up topside.
Oh, Tien, going to see now Akali jumping straight in. Nuguri gets knocked against the wall, so he will not be able to follow on. The Ignite was used by Nuguri, and they will pick up the Rift Herald.
Yes,
They did.
I was like,
I had to check it. I had to check it. The house was thrown. But nothing else there for the side of RA. They back themselves away. They don't lose anything in terms of kills, but Lwx can just go on this. You're not really in a position to fight this. Oh, as I say, that great fillet, and now Thresh picks himself up a kill. They get the shutdown. They will take that one. We can see Cube now into this top side, finds Tien, and has to back himself away from the tower, though, because Nuguri's there. Nuguri's crashing this.
Yeah, FPX should get this tower on top side, but that's a mistake from Lwx. Honestly, oh, TP actually tops out here.
TP is here. There's going to be FoFo. They actually just dropped the Rift Herald, and that's just going to be the plates there. So they're making sure the tower doesn't 100% go down. They're just making sure that there's no other extra dive.
Yeah, so one of the big things for Samira is any sort of CC will interrupt that Infernal trigger. And, like, it's great to have the W Samira to stop, like, the hook from Thresh. Some of the other wayward CC that come through from FoFo. But when it's just a flay, it's very easy to set up. It will shut you down, and Lwx felt the more punishing side there. And as we said, once you're in it, Samira, there's no getting back out with an ally, and does a nice job to dodge the hook. But honestly, he needs to flash away from Hung here, avoid the flay, and if he'd bought enough time, I think he actually kills iBoy here. It's just the fact, yeah, it was just the fact that he was so close to the Thresh, it bought enough time for iBoy to get that damage off.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like if he flashes there towards iBoy and then, you know, kind of links up there with Crisp's able to flash it himself, there's a lot you can do there from the side of FPX. But if, buts, and maybes, all these different things that pop into your mind when you're looking at the world of League of Legends. RA now just clearing out vision as FPX, Tien, and Crisp trying to clear it all the way back. So you can see the very shallow vision. This is something we did criticize RA a lot when we came into the IG series 2 days ago, is that, yes, they get a lot of vision down, but it's very shallow. It's not very intrusive. It doesn't really give you a huge amount of info in the long scheme of things.
Yeah, and the biggest problem with that is that Leyan and Hung don't really work together to get that vision control, so it's kind of that solo escapade to see if he can get it. Bot side going well, though, as RA mid.
Well, FoFo gets jumped on, but FoFo should be fine. The exhaust was there off of the spell book. We can see Tien now getting jumped on, has to use the Stormbringer to disengage. The dominance is there, the flash away from Doinb. He's got himself the sustain, and Doinb just outplays that in the mid lane.
So well played by FPX as we go and see Rocket to nowhere. But honestly, like, Crocodile and a bear, they're pretty damn scary, and unfortunately, Leyan, he's just one man on the Xin Zhao, and now FPX will turn over towards this dragon. Off of the Immortal Shield Bow picked up on that bottom side, off of the Stride Breaker finish for Doinb in that mid, the power items that are already with the Mythics completed are just too strong for FPX.
We will see how RA are able to try and kind of go back on top of this one. Of course, the Immortal Shield Bow has been changed as we come on to 11.6. It does go down from 12% lifesteal to 10. And they've actually removed the 15% lifesteal you get once it's triggered for 8 seconds. Now turned into you just get bonus AD once it's triggered off of it. So not exactly the worst thing in the world. Still get the shield. It's actually a slightly stronger shield now. So it's got pros, it's got cons, and it's got adjust.
The extra AD does give you some more lifesteal, so it kind of trades off a little bit. But certainly not as nasty, I will say, when you get that Infernal trigger popped as Lwx, but still pretty strong. I think the bigger thing is the fact, like, just look at how accelerated the items are coming in for FPX. You've already got that Riftmaker well underway from the top side. You look at mid and bot, they've already got those fully completed mythics, especially because FoFo's had to go for the early Seekers, struggling against Doinb in lane, and now Doinb can very quickly clear the way of a Strikebreaker and open up towards roams on the map. I want to see where he makes moves, though. I still imagine it's bot side to try and crack open this tower, but that top lane tower is so low as well, because Nuguri's been doing such a great job up there.
Not even just that, Cube's been forced to go with the Hex Drinker. Cube has to go defensive for this lane, which is just going to delays his tanky stats. Like, yes, it's good against the Akali, but against a Samira, a Renekton, hell, even a Volibear, like, that's just not going to cut it, and you're just going to be almost like paper when you go into these team fights. Yeah,
you're kind of grateful as Cube that a lot of Akali's damage on this patch is shifted towards magic damage, so you get a lot of value from that. But as you said, kind of sucks in the grand scheme of things, because when you're dealing with these team fights, you would love to have that Strikebreaker ASAP, but you just don't. Now Riftmaker completed for Nuguri, he's even more obnoxious, especially when it comes towards these like 1v1s. This basically says to me that Nuguri is just like, hey look, I'm going to try and get access towards this backline. I don't even care. Sorry, try and get access to Cube in these side lanes. Nightstalker have seen more on the assassination-orientated Akali, but basically this is, I'm a nuisance Akali with this Riftmaker because I can trade very effectively in side lanes, but also if I do get into these team fights, I can take some damage and heal up with the Riftmaker.
Well, Doinb has to pop the Dominus and will be able to dodge out the Trouble Bubble, so will not be going sleepy time this time round, and just kind of loses the ultimate there. He has a little bit of a power spike here, has got the Strikebreaker, and of course just got gifted over the red buff. And I like what Leyan's trying to do. He's trying to see if he can get something going for his team. It's not, again, end of the world. You're 1,500 gold behind. You have the Frostfire Gauntlet now for the Xin Zhao. You have opportunities as the Volibear has yet to finish his.
I think what we need to look at, though, is the 2.5 minutes time. That third dragon is going to be up, right? You will just about have a Strikebreaker finish for Cube. FoFo will have his mythic completed as well, but you're still waiting on like iBoy to get the likes the rapid fire kind of, or the phantom dance or whatever he's feeling in this game. Personally prefer the rapid fire, but that's not going to be finished. Then you're looking across at FPX. Woodham Spike for Samira, beautiful. Should be able to get this rated Dirk. Great lethality in these early stage fights. Doinb with the Strikebreaker, Chemtank, Nuguri having 2 items potentially complete, or at least 1.5 complete. Like, FPX are in such a strong fight, and if Ore can't deal with this, FPX can then take over in the team fight, or you're now looking down the barrel of a 4th dragon for Ore.
Yeah, you kind of have to fight at this Infernal, and an Infernal Soul for this side of FPX would be insane. Nuguri, though, jumping in, getting the Ignite down. I don't think he's going to be able to get much more of a purchase there with that particular summoner, just trying to see if he can get Tien into position, but already there straight away Cube's like, nope, want nothing to do with this, and they're trading towers across the map.
Yeah, that's the big one. You had Leyan already moving down, and again, I like that Ore play around bot side. They do need to get iBoy up and rolling. He still just needs a lot of time. You can see Sekimo's gold in the game right now, but he's very close to Lwx despite the CS advantage that iBoy opens up in the early stages.
Honestly, I feel like it's kind of a testament to iBoy, the fact that he is ahead of Lwx despite 3 kills going over to Lwx's Samira. So Rift Herald going to be taken here. You have a minute until the Dragon. They'll probably see Tien drop that one mid lane as they look to try and posture around it. Resets coming in across the board here for RA. We have summoners up for pretty much everyone across the board, apart from that Ignite from Nuguri. And they were seeing now 37 seconds. This is going to be the big fight. Looks like FPX are going to be the ones who are going to be walking into RA, as RA did get the early rotation.
Now, I just want to say, although we're seeing iBoy and we're talking a lot about iBoy in this Jinx, FoFo is no pushover. FoFo is a phenomenal Zoe player. We talk about him already potentially being one of the best mid laners that we have in the LPL, if not the best mid laner we've had this split at least. He looks damn clean on this Zoe. And when he's been the main damage source for Ore the entire split long, you do still have to keep your eyes on him and make sure that Zoe isn't causing too many issues for FPX.
All right, so we do see Doinb pushing bot with Nuguri pushing top. Tien drops the Rift Herald there.
TP coming in from
TP
Nuguri.
is coming in. That's going to be on the bot side, so they know this is a little bit of a split fight. The turret goes down.
This is the flanks we're talking about, though. FoFo doing a good job to spot it out, but FPX are coming in from multiple angles, which makes it so difficult for Ore.
Yeah, it does make it a little bit difficult. Stridebreaker forward, the dragon down to about 2,000 HP. They go in, they're going to try and steal it. It is stolen. Leyan gets that Infernal Drake, the hook there onto Doinb to stop him going in. They found LWX. That is the Samira dead, and the Jinx getting excited. Doinb trying to see if he can do something with Nuguri, trying to see if they can just dance around this fight. It's a fight on two fronts. The Renekton is dead. The Akali picks up the Xin Zhao. The perfect execution right on top of him, but Nuguri might be caught out here as a sleepy trouble bubble. The flay, the damage. He's got not really a lot left in the tank, and FoFo cleans that one up. This game is not out of reach yet.
No, Ore played that beautifully. They managed to get directly onto this Samira, and there was nothing LWX could do. Now Ore, they can push open these towers. They can start to get control of the map, and certainly having that one dragon in tow buys time for them to get items on towards Jinx, continue to get items onto FoFo, and scale to where they can match toe-to-toe in these team fights.
Now Build VX, yes, he used his cleanse, but he just had nowhere to flash to. Where are you going to go in that particular situation? And you can see across the board almost every flash being blown. Let's have a look at how this fight kind of went down. And this was just a great steal from Leyan, but the fight afterwards perfectly executed by RA.
And I like this engage from Crisp. iBoy instantly pieces out, but you can see that LWX takes that one step too far towards Cube, and he pounces. The fact he didn't even have to use flash rate to get onto LWX, big error from the Samira there on FPX. And although Nuguri tries damn hard, you can see how much damage he can do. There's just too much CC. FoFo does a great job of following up on all the damage here. And even if Crisp had come across to help, there just was no turning this engagement.
Did so well there from Nuguri. Just literally lands the shuriken and immediately jumps towards iBoy.
You will see, though, if LWX is up for that fight, that's an entirely different story. Especially when LWX is the main source of goal on FPX, he needs to be left standing. And although once bitten, I think LWX will be twice shy. He does not want to be going into these fights where he's toe-to-toe with Cube and not able to find access to the backline.
But importantly here for RA, you got an injection of gold now into FoFo, completed up the entirety of the Zhonyas, so he's going to be feeling a little bit better into those side lanes against something like a Renekton or hell, even LWX. And you've got the Phantom Dancer here for the Jinx. So this Jinx, iBoy is starting to stack up. And
one of the big things here, a favor for FPX has been gifted by the gods, is this Infernal map. Because when you're pushing in side lanes, you're able to find multiple different angles because these walls are no longer left standing. You've got more flank opportunities. It's a really strong point for FPX that they can look to have multiple angles in and around these objectives.
You can see there, you can, trying to get some vision down. All right, respect the fact that there are not the walls, and it's just a perfect playground, if you will, for FPX. But have to be able to capitalize on them. You have to be able to use them, and at the end of the day, if Hong's getting hooks like that, if Hong's able to kind of catch people out, it doesn't matter how many walls you don't have.
I like the way, I think this has just been updated as we go, because it's like a 0.3 KDA for the Volibear right now.
Yeah.
It's just, Tien, he had a nice start to the game, but certainly the Volibear has teetered off a little bit. Now he's not able to find that big early game that we talked about, and now it's on FPX to see if they can outplay in team fights like we saw in the regular split. But RA, they have leveled up since then. We saw in their series against IG, their team fighting was spectacular. iBoy looked spectacular, and once again we want to see if the RA duo of FoFo and iBoy can carry this team to victory.
One of them FoFo's unsealed spellbook item, or summoner spells right now. It's like, if I went into a game and I saw a mid lane Zoe with a ghost and a cleanse, I was like, oh, I'm being trolled, man. But, of course, just waiting for those cooldowns to come down. Better to have something than nothing. Obviously, the power you get with the unsealed spellbook gives you a lot of versatility in that particular thing. But you actually see LWX getting out with the Collector and the Sterox Gauge for Doinb in that mid side. So, a lot of different items being poked up here. Actually, Demonic Embrace here as well for Nuguri, so he's going to be hurting a lot.
This is when FPX are strongest. This is when Samira hits like a truck. Nuguri as well gets that really strong combo of the double burn from Riftmaker and from the Demonic Embrace. So now FPX could look to turn this, but the range is really difficult for RA. You can see there, you gotta let it go.
Oh, Doinb gets caught out, and he has to slice out of that one there. If he gets caught, the constant CC that we've been putting down on him is insane.
This is so dangerous from RA, though. I know they're going for picks, but if Nuguri was a little bit closer, you get the flash engage with the Magnet Storm from Crisp. Like, RA need to play this slow. Don't overreach for more picks. You've got the tower, back away, get the vision, stop FPX from finding these flanks.
All summoners available. iBoy will have his flash in about 2 or 3 seconds. TPs are there as well. You have a cleanse for FoFo. Keep an eye on that. He should be able to keep himself alive. The dragon does spawn. This will be second for RA, third for FPX.
We get the reset coming in from Doinb. He's trying to see if he can get this flank ward off, but it means FPX need to buy time. Nuguri on the flank as well.
Nuguri is behind the pit. You can see there FPX just being kept topped up by the honey fruit. The TP is not even going to be on the flank, it's going to be straight there. Stolen by Tien. And do we have a fight after this? Doinb strike breakers forward. You've got a lot of disengage, a lot of range flash forward by Chris as he tries to go in, but they jump straight in on top of Nuguri. It's a fight on 2 fronts. Cube jumps in on top of the Akali as he tries to get himself out. Forced to flash away. Still have iBoy, still have lots of different ways of chasing down these kills. It will be Cube who falls. Sole point for FPX. They get a kill. They even get a tower as well. All things going well for FPX.
Crucial play for FPX. As you said, finding a definitive fight in 5 minutes where they can look to close out this game or just get an insurmountable lead off that Infernal Soul. And they're still finding really creative ways to close the gap onto RA and now get advantages as Baron starts to come up. This is where they can start to operate if they can get that Baron into that 1-3-1 style. But RA are not going to just give it across them. I love this TP from Doinb. Don't forget, TP gives you a massive speed up, so look how quickly this Croc can actually get in on top of the crucial members. Nuguri is in on a great flank here as well. Leyan is forced to deal with him. Cube is even like, God, I need to keep this Akali off the back line, which opens up Lwx this free passage in, and they manage to get the pick on towards Cube. But that's all you need really here is FPX. If that front line goes down, there's no longer someone who can play that front line as Hung.
Oh, perfectly executed, but is he gone a little bit too far? No flash, remember, no real way out. Can he get himself the kill? It's Jinx downtown. Tick picks it up with the Mega Inferno rocket. And that's going to be the Baron. I don't know if they can go for it. There's a lot of range here and a TP from Cube.
All they need to do is bait it. You still have the flash from Tien. He still has ult. They're trying to bait a Cube in Mega.
Mega now is hit for Cube. iBoy is there. The Chompers do stop everyone from moving forward. Tien, so low. Gets out with minuscule amounts of HP.
FoFo.
See, FoFo does land instant cleanse from Lwx. He has to hit that. You can see there with the Immortal Shield Bow being popped. He knows he would be died dead on his feet if he does get hit by that.
And that's the advantage RA can play with this range. They can play over walls. They can make it very difficult for FPX to close the gap. And although Tien had the flash, had that ult, he doesn't pull the trigger because you have such a big discrepancy between where RA are and the length of that ultimate. Now, FPX step back. They're not in control. Now, look at where RA on the map. All lanes starting to go in their favor again. They can look to play this nice and slow once again and keep FPX in their pen.
Oh, you can see there just on the picture-in-picture replay, it was just a straight-up opportunistic kill, and it just turns out to be 2 for 1. And yes, you might have been able to get on top of the Baron, but with the range you now have with the Jinx and the Zoe, with the extra kind of damage just being rained down on you, it's so difficult.
And this is why, honestly, I want to see Nuguri play in a side lane. I think if Cube has to deal with Nuguri in a side lane, it becomes a lot easier for the 4-man strong FPX to bully their way into the jungle, get vision control, deny, honestly, anyone on RA being able to face check in towards this Baron, and they can start to look for picks. It feels like if you end up just playing this very slow-paced game where RA are given time to scale up, FPX will just lose in the foot race that's turned into a marathon.
Tense times right now. Minute 30 until that, Infernal Soul does spawn for FPX. You can see this trying to get priority into this mid lane. They have got the Lord Dominic's Regard finish it up here for iBoy. He still, of course, has both of his summoners as well. So they are going to try and get a reset here for the Samira, see if she can get that item as quick as she possibly can to be on equal footing. Still got a lot less gold, though, on Cube.
But watch how FPX are playing this. Nuguri pushing bot, cool. just dip in with Crisp, we just get a little bit more vision. We just deny that ward that RA had placed down. Now for iBoy, he needs a lot of protection. He can't just stay safe under this tower, because if you get 3, 4, 5 members of FPX suddenly pouncing on him, he's in trouble. And that's where you can see iBoy now, knowing he's got Leyan's help, knowing the Hung is there, trying to get control back of this bot side of the jungle.
And again, we are going to see Summoners up. FoFo does not have his flash just yet. Never mind, it's actually off the spell book, so it will be just quickly making itself do a full rotation, so he will have it for this fight.
So that's the big thing here. Look at the Summoner spells, right? iBoy has his flash, has his cleanse. FoFo will just about have his flash up, and they need it. Because Doinb flash, Tien flash, Crisp flash. All of these dive proponents are just going to be getting straight onto the head of FoFo and iBoy, and they need to avoid it.
There is no cleanse as of yet on Lwx. Very important to note that if he gets caught, he could be killed. You have got Locket, though, for Crisp. There's actually a Shirelia's battle song here for Hung, so he's looking to try and reposition the rest of his team. He knows what his job is to try and set up his team for success. Renekton going to be resetting and trying to jump in onto the backside. It's again Nuguri behind the pit.
Yeah, but there's no ward here really that Nuguri can play off. He needs to play so far back because he knows there's vision there. RA will spot Nuguri on the entrance as Doinb makes it into the pit.
Here we go. Doinb goes in. He pops the dominance. He's taking so much damage though, and he gets the Sterix. iBoy is dead though as they try and get in. Lwx flashes forward onto Cube and picked him off as well. You can see Nuguri on the backline just separating RA to the 4 wins, and the rest of RA are scattered. They are almost certainly dead if they stay around, and the Infernal Soul is FPX's.
What did iBoy do? He had flash and cleanse. He had all the time in the world to get away from that play, but I don't know what happened. He just died.
We'll have to wait to see who going in, but actually it's actually see FoFo being taken out by that Samira right there, so it ends up going to be a full ace coming out here for FPX. They get 5 kills, they lose nobody. They get the Infernal Soul, they're going to get the Baron, they're going to be the push in all these lanes, they get everything.
And I mean, honestly, this is just looking like 2-0 FPX when all is said and done. The team fighting is impeccable from FPX. They've been able to get onto the backline every time, and now again we can have Nuguri play off in the side lane with the farm buff. Same with Doinb. Lwx, very heads up play to keep Crisp alive there. He's able to swallow up that super mega death rocket, but I need to see this replay. I need to see what happened, because yes, Doinb gets onto iBoy, but he has flash, he has cleanse. Even if he cleanses and then takes the lantern from Hung, but
he's just not expecting the damage.
Yeah.
Straight up. He thinks he can survive it and keep it and be selfish.
But there we go. We just said it. Like, all you needed was all these different dive proponents to get onto iBoy, and iBoy doesn't respect it. Tien follows up Doinb perfectly off of the Renekton's flash, and iBoy can't get anywhere.
Yeah, straight up. That's just a mistake there from iBoy. As we can see, FoFo just trying to defend his mid lane tower and then just gets run down. Well, what are you going to do? You've no flash, you've no cleanse, you've nothing. You're just going to get caught.
That's 2 games in a row now. We've seen iBoy really kind of mess it up when it comes towards these team fights, towards positioning, and I think this is where you kind of start to see the difference, where iBoy Series 1 in round 1 of our playoffs, amazing. 31.3% of the team's damage, hard carrying RA to victory over IG, but this time around, he's just not able to find that same success. Now FPX have full control of the map. Nuguri Baron pushing in top, Renekton and Doinb pushing in bot, and now that 3-man strong unit isn't as easy to deal with when you're pulled every which way as Rare Adam.
You still have opportunities. Your Jinx is still absolutely massive. We'll be able to kind of just keep this one in. Of course, you are very short range as well, so getting these towers is going to be rather difficult, even with the Baron buff. You can see RA just trying to defend as best they can, throwing out skill shots. They have iBoy on just clear out the big waves duty as they got bot wave now pushing in. They're going to completely stun down Cube and try and catch him out, but they don't kill him off as they jump down straight onto Lwx. There's the Super Mega Death Rocket. Not quite able to get a kill, but they will pick off the AD carry. This is still in favor of FPX. They will crack open the base, but they do lose the big Lwx.
Nuguri's mid though. Nuguri is just pushing in this mid lane, so they get the base cracked open. And honestly, for a short range composition like FPX have, that's a major win. Would look to get these structures, the inhibitors down, but look, you got to take it where you can. And Lwx once again falls prey, but it was worth it.
Worth it, but could have been a little bit better for him if he didn't get caught out, of course. But you'll take it if you're FPX. You're now 8,000 gold ahead, a little bit under that. You've got yourself an Infernal Soul, 2 minutes and 45 seconds until that Elder Drake spawns. The base is cracked open. You still have your global teleports to be able to make plays around the map should RA step too far out. you've got all the options for RA. They're looking for a mistake.
And I was so excited coming in today. I really thought we were going to see RA step up and become those world champion slayers. They had performed so well against IG. It felt like they might have been able to put up that same style against FPX. They play this, counteract this early aggressive team, scale into the late game. But we are seeing that in the race of the slowest team in the LPL versus the fastest team in the LPL. Speed wins.
See if they are able to end this one. It's about 33 minutes, and we are finally getting a 4-item Jinx. The Infinity Edge has been finished up. You have a Mercurial Scimitar, thank you, for Lwx. So he's got 2 cleanses now available to him, as he might get caught out when he only has the 1. That one's on cooldown, so we'll see if anything does happen here for the side of RA. They have got time on their hand, and the longer this game goes on, the less that gold lead means to the side of FPX.
I think this is just easy peasy for FPX. I mean, look, at the end, shoving in mid. He goes for the engage.
He goes for it. iBoy again, just so greedy with his summoners, and he's just dead and buried. That was as simple as you like. Tien just runs at him. Nothing that they could possibly even see, kind of be creative about, and they get everything out of it. They've gotten the bot lane inhibitor turret. They're going to be able to push onto these nexuses. You have no real wave clear here for RA. You have no way of stopping this push, and this is going to be game 2, series point for the side of FPX.
iBoy's adding the lemon squeezy to this easy peasy for FPX, and honestly, I think for a lot of these fans for RA, it's going to leave a sour taste in their mouth.
2-0 up in the series. FPX 1 away from challenging JDG in the top side of this bracket. And like you said, RA just... they're already gone. They're out. They're already out of there. They don't even need to be there anymore. But yeah, that's a bit of an unfortunate one. Yeah. And it does feel like right now, iBoy from yesterday, or from 2 days ago, and the iBoy now, it's not the same.
It's really not. And now, I mean, look, you can see the gold is so even for so long, but FPX, they get that one moment to shine and they blow up in this entire game. And again, it's those team fights at Dragons. The early plays coming through from FPX, netting the definitive fight that RA have to take, and they're just not ready for it. The team fighting is superior from FPX, and as RA now, this is one game away from your spring 2021 being done.
And again, it's so disappointing. Not even just for fans, but just for us, because we were kind of saying, look, iBoy popped off. iBoy did exceptionally well, and
look at FoFo.
Yeah, I'm like, FoFo's trying. FoFo's doing his best. Cube Hell was doing his best as well, and you can see Leyan, like, this entire game just felt like it was time and time again, iBoy and Hong, or maybe even just iBoy, but like especially in the early side, like iBoy and Hong just not really respecting Lwx and Chris, and that just led to even more disadvantages the more it went on.
I'm not even going to call Hong out for this. I think Hong was doing his best. Probably could have put down a lantern a little bit earlier in that fight, cool, but honestly, this is positioning errors from iBoy, where he's able, like, there's not a world where Doinb should be able to get in on top of you when you have cleanse and you have flash. And not only is Doinb getting in on top of you, you're letting enough time for Tien to waddle his way in, not even burn the flash. Chris didn't have to burn flash, and iBoy's dead.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Tien just ran at him. Nothing else, nothing changed. He just ran. And it was like, iBoy just kind of went like, do it. I dare you. And then it was just like, he thought he was going to back away or anything like that. I'm like, you can see the damage that, in that just before that last team fight happened, iBoy put 2 auto attacks onto Tien and got him down to about 2/3 HP. So he would have just melted that entire team had he been able to stay alive for hell, even 5 more seconds. Yeah. Honestly, I'm annoyed because, and I'm just frustrated because we've seen it so recently that iBoy is better than this, and right now RA are just kind of being punished for the sins of the AD carry.
And it's 2 games in a row now where I've actually favored the draft from RA. Like, in the grand scheme of things, I'm like, the last game, I really liked what they drafted with all this multiple semi-globals and TPs and playing the map. It could have been really, really cool, and it just fall flat. Now, again, for I'm like, look, you have that range advantage. You have great ways of buying space with Leyan having that ultimate, with the box and all these Thresh plays that can just separate out these fights for iBoy and FoFo. And instead, it's RA not playing the fights correctly, and it's FPX that are picking up these fights that honestly they really should have. Now, to give FPX their due, they played the fights as perfectly as they could.
Yep.
Nuguri was on multiple flank angles, Doinb playing that front line, the TP as well to get the speed up, so then he could actually get into these fights. Like, they were really tossing every trick in their books at them, and it did pay off, but it should never get to that point.
Yeah, honestly, I think, as you said, FPX just kind of played what they needed to do. It was not perfect. It was not, absolutely amazing from either, pretty much anybody on the side of FPX. They saw opportunities and they took them. They saw iBoy just not respecting the damage and the damage that can come down within the 0.5 of a second where he should have flashed away or he should have cleansed away, and just really, really disappointed. I want to see them come back. I want to see RA give us at least a fourth game. Really kind of, put testament to it. Again, FoFo has been incredible for them this entire split, but we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, I suppose right now we're just going to send it to a break. When we return, we'll have game 3 for this series. Could be the final game. You do not want to miss it.